It has probably been close to a decade since I last did a test knit. When my eldest was a baby, I used to do a whole bunch of test knits for baby and infant patterns. So I guess, he's going to be 13 next month. So it's been well over a decade actually. And I found as my kids got older, I have 4, I didn't have time to commit. I mean, I had time to knit, but I didn't have time to commit to doing a test knit because what if I couldn't make the deadline? Like, I would feel so bad if I couldn't actually complete it on time and get them the information that they needed. But when this pattern, which is the Bookshop Cardigan by Hook Mountain Handmade, came into my Instagram feed, it was just a hashtag that I was following, and it came up they needed test knitters, and I happened to be in the size range that they needed a knitter for. It's like, you know what, it's time to get back into this world because I always find it so interesting to try new patterns because, for one thing, you really have to be analytical about the pattern. They really want you to, be accurate with your gauge, with your row count, with all of that, so that they can make sure that the pattern works as written. And then there's also this aspect of no one else has knit this. I mean, maybe they've had a handful of other knitters do it before, but you can't go look up Ravelry pages or you can't go and look up blogs to figure out parts that you might not know. So there's that certain challenge because of that, which I absolutely love. And I've read through this pattern already, and I know for sure that the way that the buttonholes are done on the button band is something I have never done. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, it seems like it makes sense, but until I actually have it on the needles ready to go, I don't know how it'll turn out. But I'm excited. There's that little bit of unknown that I've never tried those combination of stitches before. I am also not typically one to knit bottom up. You get into a rut, into a habit, right? Where I knit top down because that's what I'm comfortable with. So this pattern is actually bottom up, which is, I mean, I've done it before, but it's not something I typically choose. It's also a cropped length, which is, I mean, this cardigan that I'm wearing, like it is long. It goes well past my bum. So I'm excited to branch out and try something new. I've never worn a cropped sweater, maybe in the 90s when I was a kid. Maybe I wore a cropped sweater, but I have a long torso, so commercially made cropped things don't work for me very well. So I'm excited to try this. I also, so I'm using the Wool of the Andes worsted weight. This is the color that I'm using. It's Aurora Heather. I did get this for free from Knit Picks. Part of this test knit was that it was sponsored. Sponsored the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. Knit Picks was partnering with Jovi on this pattern, and they did yarn support for a couple of the plus size knitters. So I just had to tell them what colorway I wanted. I picked this Aurora Heather. There was another one, I think it was Forest or something like that, that I was really wanting, but I ultimately ended up with this one because it was more of a blue green than the other, which was more of a true green. And I mean, as you can tell, I really love this kind of color. So I have worked with Wool of the Andes before, but in their sport weight, or is it DK? I'm not sure. In their finer weight. And this feels quite nice. It is, you can definitely feel that it's wool, but it is still quite soft. I think I have very sensitive skin, so I'll probably have to wear long sleeves under this cardigan. I don't think I could get away with just wearing a tank top under it, but we'll see. So I'm excited. I just finished my swatch. Now I am a loose knitter, so I actually had to drop my needle sizes by 2 sizes. She recommended a 7 and a 9. I went down to a 5 and a 7. But that's just how I knit. I know I need to typically drop needle sizes. Not so much in fine yarn. I find if I'm knitting with fingering or lace weight yarn, even some sport weight yarns, I find that I'm pretty true to gauge with those weights. But once I get bigger, I find I definitely need to drop the recommended needle or hook size if I'm crocheting. Just, it's something to learn about yourself as you go on. So I'm excited to actually start knitting on this. I have until November to get it done. And it did take a little bit of time for the yarn to get here from the US, but I'm excited. I hope you will come along with me on this journey to knit the Bookshop Cardigan. And now I'm filming this ahead of time. I don't know how this has turned out, but when this video actually goes up will be when the pattern is live on Ravelry, and I will link all of Jovi of Hook Mountain Handmade. I'll link all of her information down below so you can get the pattern. You can check out her other patterns. She's got some really nice ones. She's got this night market cardigan, which I really want to try. Might have to buy that pattern after I'm done this one. But first, let's knit the Bookshop Cardigan. got back from an absolutely beautiful hike in the mountains. So last night I finished the body of the sweater. I did have to add a couple extra inches to the recommended length of the pattern. I think it called for 9 inches, and I went with 12, I think, inches from the bottom to the underarm split for where you separate the body to do the front and the back. But that's just, I have a long torso. Most sweater patterns, I know I need to add extra length to. I'm a little concerned that maybe I didn't add enough, but it's hard to tell when, when you're knitting from the bottom up and it's not really something that you're used to. So here's hoping. But I just got back from our walk and now I'm excited to get started on the sleeves. These sleeves, they look like they're nice and long, and it's got kind of a drop shoulder. Like the shoulder, when I tried on just the body, the shoulder goes to, it falls off the shoulder, and then you've got the sleeves, and I love long sleeves. Like I'm always rolling this sweater up because it's just not, you can't even see that. It's not quite long enough. I like my sweaters to be like this, but this one really, I didn't knit this one. I found it at a thrift shop. But I like this sweater still. But today was a gorgeous day in the mountains, but it is starting to get cooler. One of my dreams is just sitting in front of a fireplace, just knitting, listening to some music or to an audiobook, just knitting away in front of the fire, hearing the crackle of the fire as well. And now that the weather is starting to get cooler, it's going to be perfect sweater wearing weather, wearing a nice cozy sweater, knitting. But we still have a few nice days before it gets really cold. It's been below 0 a few times over the night, but not during the day. And we did actually have snow in the forecast as well. So I'm just gonna keep knitting away. This sweater has been just great autumnal knitting. I love the color. It's very earthy yet vibrant and rich at the same time. It really reminds me of the green in the crystal malachite, which is one of my favorite stones that I've been working with recently. But it's such a beautiful color, and it's just inspired me to just keep knitting. So I can't wait to be able to actually wear this and go hiking. Though sometimes the way we hike, I wouldn't want to wear a knit sweater just because I wouldn't want it to get pulled on the tree branches as we find little pathways through the wilderness. So we'll see. Bookshop cardigan is done. I had to switch the view because this matches my living room. So in order to get some good color, I had to face my closet. This cardigan, it's so comfy. I love how long the sleeves are. I know that Jovi is a fan of thumb holes, so if I had to make one adjustment, it would be adding thumb holes to this cardigan. But it is so cute. It really makes me want to go to the bookstore and just peruse in a cute little outfit. I did go to the library today, unfortunately not with my sweater. Picked up a new book, which I'm excited to read, and this is just so cozy that I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and just lounge on the couch reading my new book in my new cardigan. If you're watching this video on the day it's released, which is November 12th, this pattern is live. I will leave links to it down in the description box below. I'm so excited to get back into test knitting and exploring what other kind of patterns might be available for me to try. So I hope you give this pattern a try. If you do, don't forget to tag me over on Instagram. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Bye.